After understanding the business requirements and where the top management stands in regards to business continuity, the best possible team to manage the business continuity process should be assigned. The next two steps include identifying the required resources, and identifying and abiding by any legal or compliance requirements. The resource requirements change from one phase of the business continuity process to another. The main resource required in the development phase is the human resource, where the business continuity team will have to spend most of its time and effort in defining the project scope, performing the business impact assessment, and the business continuity planning activities in general. The resources required in the testing and maintenance phase, in addition to the human resource, include the hardware and software that will be used in performing the maintenance and testing activities. The majority of resources required will be if a disaster happens, and the business continuity plan needs to be implemented. The business continuity activities will most probably have to be performed by a significant number of personnel, with some fully dedicated staff. The budget required for business continuity depends on the business expectations and objectives, and it could amount to a hefty figure if the requirements are very demanding. This is evident if the business continuity process requires the purchase of redundant hardware, having additional staff, and reinforcing the infrastructure. The need for additional personnel who could be very useful during a limited period of time, which might or might not occur, is one of the major budget-demanding resources, since these personnel should have adequate skills and will incur constant costs. Building a sound business case for business continuity should be supported by logical and relevant reasoning that would justify the request for funds, and management awareness and support should be present. The final requirement that might affect the business continuity process is the legal and regulatory requirements. For many organizations, it might not be optional to apply business continuity. Many countries have laws and regulations that force companies to implement a business continuity process to some degree. Companies are required to apply due diligence in their business, to avoid significant fines and lawsuits in case a disaster heavily disrupts their business. The regulatory requirements depend on the type of business that an organization is conducting, where financial institutions, for example such as banks, need to protect the interests of their clients if a disaster occurs. In many situations, a service-level agreement with other parties might demand that an organization apply some sort of business continuity.